Hey guys, this is Aparna Dalal, and I'm back this time with something very interesting pertaining to parenting. It's about our children, about a future generation, and this is something that has been bothering me for a very long time. I tend to interact with kids of almost all ages, and I'd be narrating some incidents to you which really made me think as to how enlightened or how aware our future generation, as I might say, is really. So here it goes. The first one goes like this. I got to meet an 8 year old, a very bright one indeed. And she happens to go to a very reputed school here in our city. And the first question, which is a very cliche question, but that's a good conversation starter, with kids, and it helps them open up, as in my experience. So I asked her, "So, girl, what do you want to become as you grow up?" She gave me an answer. She said, "I want to be a cardiac surgeon." And she expected, I could see that expectant look in her eyes, that I would be so surprised and so appreciative of her answer. And indeed, I was surprised. And so I asked her, "Okay, that's very nice, but why would you want to be a cardiac surgeon?" And then she gave me an answer, which is, of course, equally cliche. I'm sorry to say that, but that's what kids have been fed. So she told me, "Because I want to help the society." And I was like, "Okay, so as a student also, there's so many things. Are you doing anything to help the society right now?" And there are so many things that you can do right now as a student to help the society. That made her think. She was quiet and she was processing that information. And the second thing she told me was, "Auntie, I love cooking. I really love cooking, and I wanted to make a profession in cooking. I want to take up professionally, but my mom says, why don't you think something better? Why don't you aim higher?" And, that got me thinking that it's such a pity that in this age in time, we are feeding this kind of information to our kids. So I just asked her, "Okay, darling, do a thing. Go to Google and search, or go to your mama first and ask her, does she know what a Michelin star is? And what is the significance of a Michelin star in the restaurant world?" And sadly enough, the day I asked her to go and ask that from her mama was the last day that I ever saw of her. So that's one incident. Then there's another one. There's a person who I'm really, really fond of, actually a very, very dear friend. And I spoke with their daughter. And I asked the same question, the same cliche question as to what would you want to be when you grow up? Now, this little girl is around 4 years old. She doesn't have much idea, of course, about the world, but even she wanted to become a doctor. And I just asked her, "Why do you want to be a doctor?" And then she said, "Because I want to help people." And I asked her the same question, "But what are you doing right now to help people? Can you do something right now to help people? Why would you want to wait for so many years to help someone, help people, help the world, change the world? Why not start right now?" And that got her thinking. And then it led to a series of creative events and creative discussions, which I am very proud of course. Then, so the third one that I'm coming to was another 10 or 12-year-old boy. And while he was playing with his friends, I heard him say, "Oh, I'm too old for this kind of thing. Now I'm too fat for this kind of thing." And he was, believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, he was a perfectly healthy boy. But for him to say something like, "I'm too grown up for this kind of thing," and that was just a jumping exercise, And he was a 10 or a 12-year-old boy. And he said, "I'm too fat for this kind of a thing." In all these kids, the common factor between them is that they go to reputed schools. They come from entitled backgrounds. They, I'm sure, are doing extremely well in their studies. I don't know how much of that is through self-motivation, but I'm sure parental motivation has got to, be a big part of that. But it just got me thinking that why is it that we as parents want to, even it's kind of a pathetic thing, because we even want to present our kids with dreams. We're not even okay with the fact that their dreams should be their own, let alone their destiny. We're not even okay with the fact that their future dreams or something that they want to be, something, the kind of life that they would be living every day, the right to select that, the right to at least even dream about that should be their own. We as parents are not comfortable with that too. Why is it that we are feeding our children that being a cook? I'm personally a big fan of people who cook, that's the best way of giving your energy to someone else. Intellectually speaking, we always want for our point to get across to someone when we are trying to talk to them. That's the reason behind all the discussions, all the meetings, everything that happens in the corporate, the social, wherever. It's everywhere. That's all everyone wants, to put their point across. And cooking, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the best ways to put your energy, your personal energy, whatever you intend to. It's kind of a spiritual but scientifically proven thing that when you cook for someone, you can present your energy to them. That's the best way of putting your point across. But no, we don't want that kind of profession for our kids, because we don't think that, we don't hold it in very high regard, or maybe we are ignorant enough to not know that, being a cook can be financially rewarding. It can be socially satisfying, as you grow up as a career choice. So that's one of those things. Then what about the physical activity part of it? A 10 or a 12-year-old kid, why should they even feel that they are fat to do a simple jumping exercise? Who fed that idea of being fat to a 10 or a 12-year-old boy? Why is my question. What are we feeding our kids? What kind of mentality, what kind of words, what kind of thought process? When my daughter tells me she wants to grow up and become a makeup girl, I tell her, "Darling, start practicing from now. Go ahead." My kids know, they know, and they say that, and they know that they will become whatever they want to become. How many of your parents, if you're listening to this and are really thinking about it, how many of your parents can actually be sure of the fact that your kids will be strong, sensible, balanced, and mature enough to be able to take their own decisions, career decisions, relationship decisions as they grow up? How many of you are confident of that fact? And why are you not? Because you do not let them experiment. You do not let them know their avenues. You want to control your kids' lives. Is that fair to them? Would you be okay when someone tries to control your life, your way of thinking, your way of doing things? Why is it so hard for us to accept that these little kids who are in these little bodies are really people of, a very high degree of intellect? It's just not being expressed because they're small, they're in small, young bodies. But a lot of your parents will be surprised to know that these kids possess much more worldly knowledge, much more maturity than us adults do. 90% of the time, when a kid is asking us a question and we're busy doing something, we just shoo them off, or we're not even listening. We just say, yes, 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 all right, okay, yeah, right, you're good, go, bravo. But we don't really listen. They're trying to make a point. They're trying to show us the world in a very different light. And believe me, parents, believe me, caretakers, grandparents, I don't know whoever is listening to this, teachers, believe me, when we listen to them, we grow. I, as a parent, have grown tremendously. I have been able to see the world in a very, very different light when I listen to my 4-year-old daughter talking to me about the world. The perspectives that she gives me. Of course, they are not adult perspectives, but they are much better. They give you hope about this world. They give you positivity. They give you a chance to think differently and to make things better. Look at this world from the eyes of a kid. This world looks different. Because a kid is not a pessimist, most of the times. But we create pessimists because adults become pessimists because it is very hard to hold on to hope in this world. Because we are surrounded with adults who are pessimists. That negativity travels. We have to fight that negativity every day to get things done, to reach our targets, to reach our goals, personal, professional, social, whatever goals. But we have to keep fighting that eye of judgment, that condescending attitude, that constant comparison. Who has created all this? We as adults. And we feed it to our kids. We feed frustrations to our kids. When it comes to exams, suddenly we tell them, I've only seen two kind of parents. One who will tell them, you have to score well. Whatever happens, you have to get a good rank. It's very important for your future. Or the other kind of extreme parents who will say, it doesn't matter, And I think that actually has taken... It's been on the rise. We keep hearing, marks not everything, it's okay, just be whatever you want to be. But even that doesn't work, because that's not balanced. A kid needs to sit and understand. Actually, a parent needs to sit and make their kid understand that what it is that you want to do. Marks are important if you want to go into a certain stream. Marks are not important. Your other vocation is important if you want to go into a certain stream. But are we as parents okay with our kids choosing those streams, choosing those vocations, choosing those professions? It's okay for them to be whatever they want to be. And I really mean it. The only condition I put in front of my kids is you be the best in it. All I tell them, just better yourself every time. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just better yourself every time. That is all that I tell them. That is all that I will ever tell them. Because it's not my life that they are living. They are not answerable to me for their career, personal, professional, social choices. It's their life. And me as a parent, the only thing I can do, I should do, is stand behind them as a support. Hold their hand when they need someone to hold their hand, someone to take care of them. be a wall. We have to be firm as parents. Yes, I understand completely. And yes, it is important because discipline is progressive for kids. Yes. But when the discipline starts getting regressive, when it stunts their imagination, when it stunts their creativity, well, is that really discipline or tyranny? Most parents will want their kids to have a better life than they did when they were kids, or presently the kind of life they have. Most parents will want their kids to have a better life than that. Then I beseech you, I urge you all to give them not tangible goods, but understanding, patience, freedom of choice, and give them that trust that they will choose wisely. It's okay, they will fall, they will fail, but that's what parents are for. You know, there is no one in this world who's a permanent failure. There's no one in this world who's a permanent failure. But we have many and many, many and many stories of people who were considered failures and turned out to be huge successes. But they failed first. And it's okay to do that. Just that. It's okay to be able to figure out your life on your own self. It's okay. Don't steer the wheel for them. Don't. Please don't. If you want them to grow, if you want them to be mature, if you want them to be independent, capable, don't steer their wheel for them. Let them go out. Let them experience. You cannot teach. I cannot teach. No one can teach anyone. And we as adults understand that now. Nobody can teach anyone more than experience does. I hope what I've been trying to say today has been fruitful, has gone across to you. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope it changes some lives. I hope it brings smile to some faces. I hope somebody gets a direction somewhere. After all, it is our future generation. I love you all so much. If you like listening to me, please subscribe to my channel. It is for free. You just have to press the red subscribe button and the bell icon. It is 100% free. And you will get all notifications of whatever I speak, whenever I speak. I love you all so much. Take care and share this. It's important that parents of our generation, just like us, teachers, grandparents, caretakers, guardians, it's important that we let them grow, that we open our eyes. It's very, very important. Thank you.